What is going on, everybody? We are back at it with another episode of Stats Over Politics. Yes, this is Friday. We told you guys, for those that tune in on Mondays, that you get to start your week off and end your week off with Stats Over Politics. I am joined with Alex and Totty. Alex, how you doing today?
I am great. Hello.
Totty, how are you doing?
I'm chilling, man. You know, can't complain. I'm here. Hopefully this parlay hits. So, I mean,
degenerate, man.
Yeah, I'm not the only one that's gambling on this podcast. That's all I will say. But we're here. I'm grateful. Kev's feeling good about a Eagles victory last night because Eagles beat the Commanders, and apparently
this is an NBA only episode, Totty. So they will have to tune in on Monday to hear the pride.
There we go.
So, Alex, I'm going to swing it to you first. What do you have for this week in the NBA?
This week in the NBA, the Cavaliers are still undefeated. I'm shocked. I think that's like the forefront of my mind at the moment. Also, the NBA Cup started. So excited to get tuned into the second day. I watched a few games on Tuesday, and I got to tune into all the games today. So I'm excited to see what everyone is about and kind of see how the second time around the NBA Cup does. So,
Toddy, I'm going to swing it to you next. What do you have for this week in the NBA?
What I got going for this week in the NBA, a couple things. Remember the last time we spoke was 2 weeks ago. So the Warriors, like, they're one of the best teams in the league, apparently. They beat OKC. Now, I get they did not have Chet Holmgren, and Holmgren, I think, is supposed to be out for, like, almost the rest of the season.
Chet?
Yeah, Chet.
6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, I definitely thought it was 6 to 8 months. So he'll be back.
8 to 10 weeks. 8 to 10 weeks.
So, like, yeah, he'll be out for a little bit. But yeah, man, the Warriors. I don't know if you guys saw the game on, what was that, Tuesday, Wednesday? One of those days, me and Kevin were screaming at each other over the phone. And Steph Curry went ballistic in like the final minute. I think they were down like 4 or 5 points with like a few minutes left. And Steph just, the things that he's able to do. Are you on the Kevin, or are you on the Steph Curry is the best point guard of all time hype train? Are you on that? Are you a part of that crowd, Kevin?
No, I am not. I think it relies on magic. I mean, I know Steph's done a lot, but accolades, he'll never do it. Yeah, he'll have him on 3-pointers, but Magic got him everywhere else.
Okay, I mean, I don't think.
You think he's the best point guard ever?
I still kind of in that Magic is, even though we're supposed to be the people saying Steph is the best point guard ever. But I mean, you could argue like the best point guard that you ever seen, because I didn't see Magic play. I never saw him play.
That is true.
You know, he's obviously, his accolades, as Kevin already says, are the greatest, but the things that he's able to do on a night in, night out basis, and myself, I thought the Warriors would be a dumpster fire type of team, and you know, it was kind of just Steph Curry and everybody else. But seeing how, you know, Draymond's been playing really well, Trace Jackson Davis, I think that's his name, Kuminga off the bench has been playing out of his ass. Like, they got it. Melton, Buddy Hield's been shooting the shit out of the ball. Like, they're a good team. And the way that they've been able to kind of function has been pretty remarkable. And I think that, you know, his performance against, obviously, his old teammate, everybody was, you know, Klay, and him come back to Golden State pretty early in the season. I thought this would have been a little later. This would have been a really good Christmas game.
Yeah,
like a game.
Hey, we have a whole Klay Thompson segment, so let's save that for later.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the Warriors are a contender. Dare I say?
Dare you say? For me, this week in the NBA, I had to come on here and speak up. You know, I've been slandering this man slandering this man. And now I'm going to come on here and give him my respect. Jason Tatum, I've always loved you. You've always been close to my heart. This week, he is still leading the NBA in scoring. On Tuesday, 36 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. We saw him in the finals really become more of a facilitator and a rebounder, I dare say, because in the regular season, he was okay, but in the finals, Totty, and in the playoff run, I guess you can speak more on this than I can, but I feel like he became a lot better of a rebounder. Would you agree to that in the playoff run?
He's always been a great rebounder. But I get it. You know, the casuals on this podcast will say, he got better at rebound. He's always been a good rebounder. Double-digit rebounds. You guys
not averaging, though.
Take his over.
He's averaging a career high in rebounds.
I mean, he's always been good at rebounding the ball.
Yeah, but not this good.
I mean, but you just didn't notice. It's okay.
I mean, I noticed. I mean, when you go from 7 to 9, that you snag an extra couple every now and then.
Yeah. He's always been a pretty solid rebounder of the basketball.
So that's what I have for this week in the NBA. But Toddy, you wanted to get into it, so let's get into it early. Klay Thompson returns to Golden State. Unfortunately, he was not able to get the job done as they lose 120 to 117. What were your thoughts on not only Klay's return, but just the game itself?
It was a very back and forth game. Kevin told me that nobody thinks, he said, and I quote, nobody thinks he's going to win but you, Toddy. I mean, okay. I just looked at how the Warriors have been playing, and like I said, it's been very strange to see how well they have been playing, given the roster that they have. But I'd say you got to give credit to Dunleavy and what he's been able to do. Obviously, he was the guy that was hired to break up the trio, as some people might say. And they've looked really well. Klay Thompson, I'd say despite the first game of the season where he broke I think it was the first. It was when he broke some type of record for a guy the first time to suit up for a Maverick for threes made in the game, which was pretty crazy. Other than that, I wouldn't say he's been quiet, but he hasn't shot the ball like that. And then obviously, a few nights ago, he showed out, and it was a hell of a game. You got him doing shimmies, this, that, and the third. Him and Steph was going at it a little bit. It was really fun to see, and everybody was wearing all the captain hats. So that was really cool to see that. I think pretty much everybody in the stadium, not everybody, but a good chunk of the stadium everybody's wearing captain hats. So, and then for Steph after the game, I wouldn't say after the game. It was after he hit a huge three, he was talking so much shit. I saw Draymond say something on his podcast saying that he was talking to Klay Thompson and then he just ghosted him. So that kind of added a little extra juice to it. So, very emotional night, I will say, for the game. Great game to watch too. Felt like a playoff game.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was insane to see it. And then talking about Draymond's podcast for a second, I heard that Steph walked into the locker room and hit Klay on the leg and said, "Lace him up. It's going to be a long night." And God damn it, it was a long night. You know, we know Steph as the light-skinned guy, not really showing the emotion. But you, like Totty said, you would have thought this would have been a playoff game. The intensity from the jump. You know, when you see Draymond hitting threes, you thinking about them playing the finals of the Cavs. You know, you don't see that often. For him to hit 2 threes early, you can just feel the emotion in this game. Like Toddy said, he ghosted him. So Steph Curry came in with a chip on his shoulder for 37 points, 9 assists, and he hit 5 threes, and he got 6 rebounds. So Steph Curry is doing it all. Toddy spoke about it early. This bench unit for the Warriors is looking like those guys they had on those runs, looking like the Shaun Livingstons, the Andre Iguodala's. They are having these pieces coming off the bench. DeAnthony Milton, unfortunately, he did tear his ACL, so he will not be playing this season. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But what's up, Alex? You're muted. Huh?
I thought he sprained it.
What I saw was he tore it. Let me see.
I thought he sprained it.
Could be.
Oh, yeah, nope. It's a sprained ACL. So it's a sprained ACL.
There we go. How about Alex Dent?
See, this is why I got to have a state champ on, man.
He coming back.
But this team is having the bench, like I mentioned, along with Anthony Milton. He's a starter, but for him to go in there and have 14 points and hit 2 threes goes a long way. But this bench unit and Jonathan Kuminga, like Toddy mentioned, and Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield has become, dare I say, another splash brother. Buddy Hield has rejuvenated his career. He is playing on a team that is winning. You know,
Remember
he's
when he
always
played on
playing
y'all
on. You said what?
Remember when he played on y'all team?
Yeah, that's why I said a good team. He played on the pre-good team. No, Tyrese was there. He was 2 years too early or 2 years too late. So it's a lot of it's really nice to see this Warriors team playing well. So for them to move on and continue this, like Toddy said, you talked about how they were playing before this game. So it's going to be interesting to see how they move forward. But Alex, I'm going to swing it to you next. What were your thoughts on this game?
Thoughts on the game. The Warriors are very surprising to me. Like we all said today, I think the bench, I think Steph Curry, but really give it up for Steve Kerr for getting guys into their roles on this team and understanding exactly what they need every single night. Buddy Hield reminds me of Otto Porter Jr. a few years ago. And I feel like that's the type of career that's the type of season he's going to have, that he's going to kind of mimic him a little bit. So I'm interested.
But yeah, so we are having some technical difficulties, so Alex is going to work on that and then come back. But moving forward, Toddy, we talked about injuries with DeAnthony Milton. I know there were a shit ton of injuries, a list of injuries that you hate to see as an NBA fan. Are there any injuries in particular you would like to cover? You're muted, Toddy.
And we're back.
All right, Toddy. For TikTok purposes, I'm going to do this again. So there were a shit ton of injuries throughout the season this year already. So as a basketball fan, it really sucks. So are there any main injuries that you want to talk about?
So the Chet injury, that's an injury that I thought was pretty significant. Just the way that OKC had been playing. Been on their high horse. I wouldn't say they came down a little bit, but they did lose a game, which is crazy because you got teams like the Cavs that are still undefeated. The Ja Morant injury, I'm not sure how long Ja's going to be out. I think he'll be reevaluated in about 2 weeks.
He's considered week to week with a pelvis muscle strain and a hip injury.
Yeah, so his isn't too significant. I mean, the Philly, like, what's going on in Philly? Like, these guys are just taking nights off. I get Tyrese is still hurt, but Joel is like, oh, I think he's playing right now. But it's kind of like, when is everybody else going to play together? Like, Joel's not going to play. Paul George is taking, nights off. And I get Tyrese. Tyrese would probably be playing if he actually wasn't injured. I think before he got injured, he had like a 40-piece. So it's kind of like, and Philly's 2-9 right now. So it's like, it's showing that these guys aren't healthy in their record. When are we going to actually be able to see these guys on the floor together? But I'm getting like Brooklyn vibes from this trio. I'm getting like Joel saying, well, I'm not going to play on back-to-backs already. Like, he announced that before the season even started. Paul George was obviously coming off of an injury, and Tyrese is always hurt. But I feel like Tyrese is going to play the most out of all these guys. But, like, remember when now I get COVID kind of played a huge role into why Brooklyn didn't, like, the world shut down. And, there was a mandate. And obviously, Kyrie he didn't want to get vaccinated, and that's a whole nother story. But, and then injuries also played a huge role into, like, at one point in time, James would get hurt. At another point in time, KD would get hurt, or Kyrie wasn't playing. And we never really got to see that trio play together like that. I believe it was only 11 games. But that's kind of what I'm getting from this trio already. Joel's announcing, I'm not playing back-to-backs. We know Paul George is going to take nights off. And those two guys, are they going to play? When Tyrese comes back, he's going to play whenever he can, pretty much, because he's the youngest out of all three of them, obviously. But I'd say, when are we going to see all these guys play together? That's I would like to know. It'd be very exciting because all the talent that they all possess, they can make a deep playoff run.
So, Alex, we were talking about injuries. So, I know there were a lot of injuries this season already. So, as an NBA fan, do you want to talk? Is there any injury that you specifically want to talk about?
Well, I have two. Am I still?
No, you're perfect.
Okay, good. So, Zion.
Oh.
Jinxed it, Totty. I was telling her before the episode. She jinxed it. What were you talking about the first episode? I just want to see him be healthy and play a full season.
Zion. He just can't be healthy. And I'm over him. I'm over the hype. I think another thing, I think Tyrese Maxey is a huge one. But I also think Banchero and this is not a big one, but I am expecting him to come out with a pretty decent season. Not an all-star season, but Ben Simmons.
He's been playing well.
But like a little injury
compared to what he's been. Compared to what he's been.
But like I want him to go back to like the
All-star?
2018, 2019 Ben Simmons. Like I don't want you to just be a 5 and be by the block and I can bring the ball up. Like I really want him to like get back into his own. But I really think Banchero's injury with the Magic is a little stifling, especially after he dropped that 50 piece and then he was like, I'm out.
Crazy.
Tragic.
Yeah, but Alex talked about Zion Williamson's injury, but there's a lot on this Pelicans team that is going wrong. CJ McCollum's hurt, DeJounte Murray's hurt, Herb Jones is hurt, and Jose Alvarado is hurt. So I'm looking at this season like
who else they got?
I'm looking at this season last year like the Grizzlies. Fuck it. Let's go get us a pick. They also have the Lakers pick. So could this be the best thing for Zion Williamson for them to end up with a top 10 pick and then whatever the Lakers finish?
No. What this season is for me, I'm gonna need Brandon Ingram to really like
be an all-star again.
Not just an all-star. I want him all NBA. Like I think this is his I think he needs to take the rope of this team and be like, all right, I'm gonna steer it the way I want to steer it. And go from there. Because when everyone is healthy, this is a decent team. But I feel like Ingram needs to be the head of it. And I think he needs to be even better than he was previously. So him and Murphy the third. That's basically all they got. But and Missy. I think Missy's a rookie. He's pretty decent. I think I'm saying his name right.
What number is he?
Number? I have no clue.
Missy?
He's a center. He's the big boy.
Oh, got you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
But so are you guys on the boat where maybe the Pelicans should take trade options for Zion? Should they just blow it up?
I don't know. I know that they have a bunch of picks. So it's like, is this the draft where they try and move up to try and get somebody and use all those picks to do that? Or do they try and trade Zion, accumulate even more picks, use those picks to, try and get somebody in the draft? I think Ingram is a trade piece for them based off of how their season's going right now and how injury riddled this team is. I feel like they move a guy like Brandon Ingram. They move
all the pieces you got that aren't hurt.
I don't know. Yeah, one of the guys that's not hurt. Zion is definitely another trade piece as well, given his injury history. But I just don't know what his value is currently in the league. You trade for a Zion Williamson, like, okay, yeah, I'll give you a second.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? Why would I even entertain it? Because is he going to play? I have no idea if he's going to play or not. That's a real question. Like, is he going to play? Can he give me 5 games in a row? Can he give me 10 games in a row? That's a real question.
I just feel like you have to move on from Zion. This is what, year 5, year 6? Have we ever got a full year? Year 4?
No, 5. It is year 5.
I was about to say, it was before COVID.
Yeah, I don't think he's played a full season.
He's never played a full season. I'm done.
Like, I get even a full season is tough because like people get injured here and there, but it's like, oh, I'm in an 82 game season. Can you give me 60?
Yeah, because I
70?
understand if you.
You
I understand
can't
if you
give me
like
50
sprain.
games.
I understand if you sprain your ankle, you're out for like 4 games. I get that, right? But like it's injury after injury during important times in the season.
It's
Like
all
I
like
think
the
it was
same
last
type of
year.
injury too. It's like hamstring.
Yeah, it's just like the most important game for the Pelicans last year. I think it was the play-in, and he was injured, and he couldn't even. And I'm like,
He did play the whole damn game, basically, though.
And then he was done.
yeah.
But you guys are. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not one to say that he shouldn't be traded or anything like that. I'm really not on the belief of that. He has a season of 61 games, and he has a season of 70 games. We've seen it. When he was 70 games, he was an all-star. So I get what you guys are saying. When we see him play, he's dominant. They said he was having numbers in the paint like Shaq. He was being very dominant when he was on the court, excuse me. But when he's not on the court, it's really a sad thing to see.
How long ago was that, Kev? All-Star.
All-Star was
2020.
2023. No, 2021. 2021. 2020, 2021.
Hey man,
So-
Kev, you the main one to always say, "What have you done for me lately?" Kevin's the main
Oh,
one.
he got 4 shoes. It's Zion Williamson.
He told me, he always tells me, "Look at the calendar." Look at the calendar.
It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. As our guy Boogie Cousins would say.
So, as 2 Celtics fans, Toddy, I'm going to swing it to you first, and Alex, you can take it over. I'm going to take Blue outside. So, are the Cavaliers now a legit contender? Alex brought them up in This Week in the NBA, still being undefeated. So, as 2 Celtics fans, are you guys going to give us that real or sugarcoat it? Let the listeners know. Toddy, I'm going to swing it to you first. Are the Cavaliers now a legit contender?
I think the Cavs are playing really well. I don't know what they will look like come playoff time. We saw in the playoffs last year how reliant they were on Donovan Mitchell. And Donovan Mitchell played his ass off. I mean, 45-point games. Like, he's going, like, there were stretches in the playoffs last year where he scored like 15, 16 straight points. So it's not like he's not going to be able to score now. How good will that be against the Celtics in the playoffs? I'm not sure. I feel like the performance that Donovan Mitchell was able to put on against the Magic last year, it might be good enough to get you a game. But, like, can they beat the Celtics? I'm not going to sit here and wave my flag about the Cavs. I get their, have a historical start for them, starting they're 13-0, probably going on 14-0 because they're leading the Bulls as we speak. But I don't know, like, come playoff time, can they make a deep playoff run? Maybe. But I feel like I don't know what's going to like, if it's 1 and 2, I feel like it's inevitable that they would get the Cavs Celtics matchup if that's kind of how it plays out. But I don't know I don't think they're good enough to win a championship, if that makes sense. I feel like they're still a couple of pieces away. I get Donovan Mitchell. A lot of people were kind of considering him being a trade option this past offseason, but him coming back and, running it back with the Cavs. Mobley looks really good. That's something that they were kind of hoping to be banking on. And obviously Darius Garland has been playing really well. He's another guy that was, battling injuries last year. I think he he fractured his face last year, which was pretty crazy. So
his jaw, I think.
Yeah, I think it was he fractured his jaw. So a lot of stuff played into, last year. And I think now the type of team that they currently have, I think they can definitely make a playoff run. Can they beat the Celtics in the playoffs? I don't think so.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they'll make a deep run. I think they'll probably go to the conference finals. I don't think they're tall enough on the wing and that good defensively to stop a Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown duo. But I do think they are beyond years better than last year. I think Darius Garland had a lot of injuries, that fractured jaw, right? I think he gained like 12 pounds, or maybe he lost 12 pounds.
Lost 12 pounds.
Yeah, he lost like a lot of weight. I think that affected him. Obviously, with the new head coach, they have a new offensive system. They're going through Mobley a little bit more, which I appreciate. Obviously, I think Evan Mobley, we all talked about this last time. He's going to be an all-star this year. But with the East, I feel like they could probably make it to the conference finals. Like, I think they're probably better than Indiana. I think they could beat Indiana.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the East is not that good this year.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. Like, very respectfully, like, I think it'll be deep, but like a conference finals deep. Like, they win one game, maybe two. Like, that's it. So, do I think they have what it takes to beat the Celtics? No. But you know what? I don't even know what they could go to the conference finals, because the Knicks are pretty solid. They'll probably have to play the Knicks
Depending on how
to get there. And I don't think they could. I don't know if they could beat the Knicks. But I do want to give them the flowers for being 13-0, and they're probably going to be 14-0 because I think they're playing the 76ers right now. So
they're playing the Bulls right now. They're up 74, excuse me.
Yeah.
I mean the Bulls.
Yeah, they're going to win that.
Yeah, they're playing the Bulls.
Oh yeah. What is it now? 14-0? They're about to be 14-0. That's ridiculous.
But as you guys can tell, for the people that are tuning in, for the audio-only listeners, you cannot see what Alex is wearing, but she's wearing a Kings jersey tie. I don't know if I haven't told you this. She is going to the game. She is going to see us cook some wolves.
No, I'm trying to see Ant drop 50.
Hey, man.
And I want him to yank that thing back.
Shout out Wes.
Shout out to Wes. But all right, Alex, as always, thank you so much for joining us. I know we have some technical difficulties, but we appreciate you fighting through with us. So you have a great day on at the game.
Yes. Deuces. Bye, everyone.
So, Totty, I only heard a couple of words from you and Alex, and I get this feeling that you guys said they weren't contenders. And why the hell not? They average the most points in the league. You guys mentioned it. They don't have the defenders to guard a Jason Tatum, a Jaylen Brown, a Drew Holiday, a Derek White. But you know how to beat these teams? You outscore them. And they arguably have one of the best offenses in the NBA. They average the most points. They have the best field goal percentage at 52.8. So basically 53% of their shots, every time it goes up, it's more than half of them are going in. And from three, they have the best three-point percentage at 42%. So this team is playing out of their ass. They have the numbers to prove it. Evan Mobley, I came on here and gave him his flowers last week. He is playing like an all-star. Darius Garland shooting 53% from the field and 45% from three on 7 attempts. If these two can stay consistent, this team has an opportunity to flourish. If not, like I said, be a contender. I definitely believe that they can be a contender in the NBA, especially in the Eastern Conference. We talked about the Sixers. They're really up and down. We talked about the Raptors aren't very good. The Magic just lost Paulo. The Heat are dealing with Jimmy issues as of always. So can they be the second seed? Yeah. Why can't they be the first seed in the East? Toddy, do you think that they can be the second seed in the East and beat out a team like the New York Knicks for that second seed?
Well, it definitely got a good head start. Yeah, I was already when me and Alex were kind of going through, we were saying the Cavs can definitely make a playoff run, but are they good enough to beat the Celtics? Assuming that it would be the Celtics, Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think it's very possible, given how they've already set themselves up to be one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. It's plausible for them to definitely make a deep playoff run. Injuries are definitely going to play a part in it. We saw it last year. There's a bunch of injuries across the Eastern Conference, including the Cavs. I think Donovan Mitchell ended up getting injured in last year's playoffs. So you got to be durable. Another thing that definitely plays a part into it. If you have a bunch of guys injured, it's going to be tough, especially come playoff time, to be able to go on a playoff run. But the Cavs have been, as Kevin already mentioned, the highest scoring team in the NBA. I think that is going to definitely slow down come playoff time on how many points you're going to be able to score, because I think just the pace of the game in the playoffs, everything slows down when it comes to playoff time. You're playing the same opponent night in and night out. So it's going to be very tricky for the Cavs, just given how their roster is constructed and how they're going to be able to maintain. Like you even saw the Knicks did. They went every which way to try and go get wings to guard Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and acquiring Mikal Bridges and re-signing OG Anunoby. And the little cherry on top, they added, Cat via trade. So you saw teams that were building. I mean, hell, the Sixers went out and got Paul George. So you see teams that are trying. It's kind of like an arms race in the East, but as you've seen throughout everything, there's been a bunch of injuries to already start. So the Cavs are setting themselves up well right now by getting a head start with this 13, probably 14, 14-0 start. So I don't think the Cavs will win the championship, but I think they can make a deep playoff run in the East. There we go.
All right, you guys. So this is a Friday episode. This is episode 122 of Stats Over Politics. Alex had to dip out, but it is Kevin and Totty to finish off the show. We have one more segment. We are doing a Power Hour episode just due to life. So we want to come on and give you guys that content. So, Totty, we have a this or that.
Oh, no.
All right? We talk about him almost all last episode. His name was popping up here. His name was popping up here. Him's better than him. So let's go ahead and give him his own segment. This or that. LaMelo Ball edition.
Here we go.
First name up. Drew Holiday.
LaMelo Ball.
Give me LaMelo Ball. Next name up. Your boy, Cade Cunningham.
LaMelo Ball. I love Cade too.
I know Melo's been hooping, but Cade has been doing it all. Melo just scores that thing. Cade is averaging great numbers everywhere else. So give me Cade. Okay. Next name, Trae Young.
It's tough. I'm gonna go with Trae.
I'm going with Melo.
Oh,
I know Trae had that good run. I get it, and that's what puts him over the top. He has the All-Star appearances, but LaMelo hasn't been healthy. If LaMelo can continuously be healthy, we've seen him.
Now, why is Cade better than LaMelo?
Cade is overall a better player to me because, like I said, LaMelo's just getting him up. Cade is doing it all.
All right. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna have to respect because I'm a Trae guy. I'm gonna say Trae Young.
Okay. Next name, Jamal Murray.
LaMelo Ball.
Give me a LaMelo Ball any day of the week. All right, Toddy. Let's see what you got to say with this next one. Damian Lillard.
Yeah. Right now or just the God? He is.
I'm taking LaMelo Ball. Damian Lillard's always been a smaller guard. We saw it in Portland. LaMelo doesn't bring that to the table. He's 6'8", 6'9". So, and what LaMelo is doing, leading a team, I'm going to have to go with LaMelo Ball.
Because right now, LaMelo's playing better. Dame has done it time in and time again. We've seen it. He's a Hall of Famer. Like, wow. Wow.
You don't sound very convinced, Toddy. You sound like there's a butt coming.
Right now, I'm going to say LaMelo Ball.
All right, Toddy.
15 games in. 15 games in the season.
Next name, Tyrese Halliburton.
LaMelo Ball. I think he's better than Tyrese. I get Tyrese Halliburton had.
Bro, Tyrese Halliburton could average 25 and 12.
Can he?
Yes. Before he got hurt, that's what he was doing.
All NBA, conference finals. This was a huge thing like a couple of weeks ago. I saw Austin Rivers on this podcast. He kind of went out saying, hey, Tyrese, I get it. Everything that you've done, but man, LaMelo is just people forget because LaMelo was hurt. So it's we haven't really seen him, and he twists it. Kind of the same thing that's happened with Ja. I feel like a lot of people forgot how good Ja was, but Ja was just hurt, and he had a bunch of off-court stuff. Blue agrees. But, it's just, man, bro, dang. I get it. Last year, He's coming off the. I mean, he just had 9 points, Kevin. 9 against a team with no Paolo Banchero, and they lost.
I get it, but like you said for Dame, the
All
body of
in-
work.
Kevin, if LaMelo keeps
That's what
playing
you
the way
said for
that he's
Dame.
playing,
Why can't it be with Tyrese? You just said for Dame, look at the body of work.
Tyrese did 1 year. So
He got more than Melo. Tyrese Halliburton was very good in that half year in Indiana.
Kevin, if LaMelo keeps playing the way that he's playing, you do realize he's going to get all NBA. He's going to get all-star. Like, all that's going to happen. Then what are we going to say then? It's going to be, well, Tyrese
Tyrese
got the
is also going to be an all-star. And I guess the all-NBA will stamp it because Tyrese is going to be an all-star.
Tyrese, this year he is?
Yeah.
Because, there's a couple of point guards in the NBA. Those spots, they shrink up. So it's like, oh, okay, who's gonna get the nod over here? Him. So it's gonna come down to a couple of these point guards that we're talking about right now.
Like I said, man, give me Tyrese Halliburton.
Give me
this
one.
next name, Toddy. I promise you, brother. I'll end the stream. De'Aaron Fox.
Ooh.
Don't be crazy.
Who do you got?
De'Aaron Fox, bro. What? Who do I have? De'Aaron Fox, clutch player of the year. De'Aaron Fox, like you said with Dane, the body of work is there. He is on the way to having one of his best seasons. He declined the money because he wants that All NBA. They both have an All-Star nod, but one has an All NBA nod.
Does De'Aaron have an All NBA? Okay.
Yeah, he was third team the year with the playoffs. Him and Sponis.
He was a part of the reason why the Kings got to their first playoff run in how many years, Kevin?
Too long. I want to say 16.
Okay. Wow. Talent-wise, who is more talented?
De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox led the league in steals and was the clutch player of the year.
What does that mean?
That means when a bucket is needed, they go to him.
I don't know. When they need a bucket, who do the Hornets go to?
Bro, you're telling De'Aaron Fox had a year, clutch player of the year.
I'm just trying to figure out why.
All NBA. LaMelo has never made an All NBA team.
He has not yet. He is not. You're right.
There's no positions now, Toddy. Is he a top 15 player in the NBA? Is that what you're telling us today? That LaMelo Ball is the top 15 player in the NBA?
Hey, man, if he keeps doing the shit that he's doing right now, he's definitely an All-NBA player. I don't know.
You just said with the Cavs a couple segments ago. Is this going to keep up in the playoffs if they make the playoffs?
I'm a De'Aaron guy. I've been watching De'Aaron since high school. Like, I was in high school, all of his, like, I've been watching him. I love De'Aaron Fox. Like, I wanted to, like, when he was drafted, and I saw that, when I saw Lonzo Ball get drafted over him, I was flabbergasted because I was like, what evidence showed when they went up against each other that LaMelo or that Lonzo Ball was better than De'Aaron? Like, if you watch them go at it in college, De'Aaron was a better player. So, I mean, and I get Lonzo had a bunch of injuries in the NBA, but coming out of college, I thought De'Aaron was the best point guard in that class.
Stamps.
I mean, for the Kings to get him, I was stoked for the Kings to get him because I still do root for the Kings. I'm gonna go with De'Aaron Fox, just very slightly. I am not trying to be the prisoner of the moment type of guy. I get it. Dame Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton, all those guys. Dame is like gonna be a Hall of Famer. I just think right now, this case and age, who would you have moving forward? I would take LaMelo. De'Aaron right now is looking for another contract. This will be his third contract, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, he took the Kings to the playoffs, and in his first game in the playoffs, he had didn't he almost have 40? Or he had yeah. So, I mean, he's going, De'Aaron's probably going to go down as one of the best Kings ever, dare I say. Hopefully he retires.
But
I mean,
bro, he doesn't.
He's one of those guys that, I mean, I don't know. I'm LaMelo. He's good. I think he could be one of those guys too. But I mean, still early in his career. I think this is the year where he blasts off. We're kind of seeing it right now. But I think you guys could definitely see how high I am on LaMelo Ball. It's just injuries definitely play a part in it. I mean, Steph Curry early in his career was a guy that we didn't know what he was going to be because the ankle injuries. And then along came a guy named Mark Jackson. They took off. After that, a guy named Steve Kerr came along.
Now somebody's asking me if I think Steph's the best point guard ever. That's all she wrote.
And there we are.
So are you taking De'Aaron Fox? I don't know if you made a stamp.
Yeah, I'm going with De'Aaron. I'll take De'Aaron over LaMelo. But I do think LaMelo's, the way that he's playing right now, he can definitely be an all-NBA caliber player.
I agree. So that is going to do it for episode 122 of Stats Over Politics. This is Kevin Dent, Jaevon Totty. Like we mentioned, Alex Dent was also joining us, but she had to leave early. So we will see you guys on Monday, where you will hear me come and say things like, is Nick Sirianni a top coach in the NFL? I don't know. People are saying Dan Campbell's better. Make sure you guys tune in on Monday because it's going to be a hell of a show. A hell of a show. And we will also be reunited with the one and only Shaun Holcomb. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great news to everybody else. But if you guys tune into this episode 122 of Stats Over Politics, you will know. You will have the inside scoop. And like Shaun said, big baller brand, baby. BBs, 2Bs everywhere. 2Bs in the comments. So we will see you guys on Monday following the Monday Night Football game. Off the top of my head, I do not know who plays. Toddy, do you?
Oh, wow. You caught me.
It's fine.
There.
If not, we will see you guys after the game.
You got any work for tomorrow?
Shit, not yet. Toddy, I think best in the toilet. You got to give me some time.
I think Tennessee covers the spread tomorrow. That's all I'll say. They cover. I think they're 8.5 points dog against Georgia. I think they cover tomorrow.
All right, man. Let's go sweat out this Marquette game. You guys have a great rest of your night.